grade, and I will be I'm in the 4-H group of robotics, and I'll be performing Patrick Henry's Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, presented to the Virginia House of Burgesses on March 23rd, 1775, in St. John's Church, Virginia. No man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism, as well as the abilities of the very worthy men who have just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different lights, which is why I hope it not be thought disrespectful to those gentlemen, if entertaining as I do, opinions of a character very opposite to theirs, shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one awful moment to this country, and in proportion to the magnitude of the subject, ought to be freedom of the debate. It is only in this way that we may hope to arrive at truth, and fulfill the great responsibilities with which we hold to God and our country. If I were to hold back my opinions at such a time, I should consider myself guilty of treason towards my country, and an act of disloyalty towards the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, is it natural to man to indulge in the illusions of hope? We are apt to shut our eyes against the painful truth, and listen to that siren until she transforms us into beasts. Is this the part of wise men engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we to be disposed, among those having eyes see not, and ears hear not, the things that so nearly concern their temporal salvation? For my part, whatever anguish of spirit it may cause, I wish to know the whole truth, to know the worst, and to provide for it. I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. I know not of any other way of judging the future, but by judging the past. And by judging the past, I wish to know what there has been in the conduct of the British ministry for the past 10 years. Is it that insidious smile with which our petitions have been lately received? Trust it not, sir. It shall prove a snare to your feet. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss. Ask yourselves how this gracious reception of our petition comports with these warlike preparations that cover our waters and darken our lands. Are fleets and armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? Have we been proven so unwilling to be reconciled that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. These are the implements of war and subjugation, the last argument to which kings resort. I ask gentlemen, sir, what means this martial array, if it be not to force us into submission? Can gentlemen assign any other possible motives for it? Sir, we have done everything we can to avert the storm that is now coming on. We have petitioned, we have remonstrated, we have supplicated, we have prostrated ourselves before the throne and have implored its interposition to arrest the tyrannical hands of the ministry and Parliament. Our petitions have been slighted, our remonstrances have produced additional violence and insult, and our supplications have been disregarded, and we have been spurned with contempt from the foot of the throne. It is in vain after these things may we indulge in the fond hopes of peace and reconciliation. There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we mean preserve and violate those inestimable privileges with which we have been so long contending, and have pledged, if we mean not basely to abandon the noble struggle with which we have been so long engaged, and have pledged ourselves never to abandon until the glorious object of our contest shall be obtained, we must fight! I repeat it, sir, we must fight! An appeal to arms and to God of hosts is all that is left us. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with such a formidable adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be next week? Next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed and a British guard stands watch at every house? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying spoonily on our backs and hugging the delusive phantom of hope until our enemies have bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak, if we make proper use of the means with which the God of nature hath placed in our power. 3 millions of people, all armed in the holy cause of liberty, and a country such as ours shall prove invincible against any adversary with which our enemies contend against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. There is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations, and shall rise up, friends, to fight our battles for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone. It is to the brave, the active, and the vigilant. Besides, sir, we have no election. Even if we were base enough to desire it, it is too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat, but in submission and slavery, our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard in the plains of Boston. War is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat it, sir, let it come. It is in vain that we extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war has actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north shall bring forth to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand here idle? What would gentlemen have? Is life so dear, peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? 4 minutes, Almighty God! I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death! I perform this speech because I feel that people do not stand up for what they believe in anymore. And I hope that Patrick Henry's words have inspired you to stand up for what you believe in.